Welcome, welcome, welcome to your daily pro-social rogue intelligence stream, your edge, your little nudge, your secret rogue's ring, your hack for daily life. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to day 221 of Office Hours. Office Hours, of course, the Five Nation check-in. That's where we go live every single day to keep you ahead of all the others. Everyone else back there, they're all just in the wave, wondering what the hell just happened, not you. You're surfing that one. That's why we go live over at youtube.com/scamschool with 2 million subscribers. Modern Rogue with 1.7 million subscribers. Over 1 million followers at x.com. Dozens of humans still rattling around inside the Matrix over at the LinkedIn. But of course, the real ones. The only people I care about. The hardest of the hardcores. The elites. The ones I would tattoo across my face. If only the missus would let me. The Diamond Club. Here we go. Boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom. Oh, that's great. Lone Dog just got a scare. See, that is a uniquely human experience. Speaking of humans, we got big news. People are running simulated societies, and they're putting AI models in charge of everyone. They're just all of the people. It went about the way you would expect, with some twists. You see the headlines, including the one on this very program. There's only one headline everybody wanted to see, but there's some interesting nuance, and we can actually watch how these cities play out. We're going to get to that. But first, as you know, long before we find out whether or not we're going to end up in WALL-E or Skynet, Terminator, first, today, we got the real-life problem of bad guys who are using robots to scam us. So, to go to the mental gymnasium to get our brains toughened up, because the battlefield is your mind, we're relearning all of the skills of deception that we learned with Scam School with Scam School. Today, we're day up to episode 118, the triple threat mind reading trick. Now, this one, it's a really, really good trick. I attributed it to Seth Rovner. This is where the magic is starting to get good enough that we're starting to have to think about how do we do the crediting thing. Because a thing I didn't want to do is belabor in a general audience a whole bunch of this trick begat by this trick begat, credit, all the way back to the dawn of time. So, we'll hear, and this will end up being important later. But for this one, what you have to know is that it's a devilishly clever mechanic. Oh, it's so important that the robot camera punched in on it. It's a devilishly clever mechanic, but you guys are going to love it. Here we go. We're going to learn how to read minds and lead minds.
Anytime, anywhere, any three objects, and you are going to read their mind.
This episode of Scam School brought to you by Netflix and GoDaddy.
Oh, hey, welcome to Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. I'm your host, Brian Brushwood, and this week we have an extravaganza. You can use it as a mind-reading miracle, as a body-reading trick. It doesn't matter, it's all to you, because I give to you the triple threat. Gentlemen, my name is Brian. What's your name?
Michael.
Michael and
John.
John. Easy to remember. Michael and John. I'm actually going to teach you. You can play this off as a mind-reading trick. You can play it off as being able to read people's body, or if you're using X-ray eyes. It's totally open-ended. It's a brilliant principle that a friend of mine reminded me of. That I was like, I can't believe we haven't covered this. And all you need is 3 choices. You can grab 3 coasters. In this case, I grabbed 3 note cards. And we're going to pick 3 choices. So let's do, well, the first choice be, I guess, blondes.
All right.
What do you want the second choice to be?
Brunettes.
Brunettes.
Sexy brunettes. Or just brunettes, that's okay.
No, we'll do sexy brunettes.
Nice. That's good.
Sexy brunettes. And then we'll do farm animals. All right, so here's the way it's going to work. I'm going to put the 3 of these choices right in front of you, just like so, right? And we'll make sure there's no marks on the back. That's the other thing you got to watch for. That's the nice thing about using coasters, is that they usually have busy backs, so nobody thinks that they're marked. But in this case, what I want you to do is I'm going to turn around, and I want you guys to, actually right now, you guys decide which of the 3 choices is going to be your choice. So go ahead and start with, go ahead and decide now. But don't let me hear, of course. Otherwise, it's a really lame trick.
All right, we got it, man.
All right, you got it?
Good.
So I'm going to turn these over, And to make it totally fair, the problem is I've already seen where farm animals, sexy brunettes, and blondes are. So I'm going to turn around, and just to make sure that we have a fair palette to where I don't know where stuff is, I want you to remember which one is yours. You guys saw which one is the one that you're supposed to be keeping track of, right? So you know which one's yours. I'm going to turn around, and I want you to switch the other two. Whichever ones aren't yours, switch those. Make sense? All right, so here, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to look. No cheating. Let me know once you got it.
We're ready, man.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. All right, now why don't we mix it up a little bit more? Why don't we do like a kind of a 3-card Monty thing? Just sort of switch two, switch two.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead and switch two, switch two, switch two. And then stop whenever you feel satisfied. Okay, you got it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. Now remember, you picked one. You know, there's no way I knew which one you picked. You guys mixed them around before I even turned around, then you mixed them up again, right? And we ended up, we got blondes here, we got farm animals here, and we got sexy brunettes. And I'm gonna say, just by using my amazing psychic powers, that you guys picked the sexy brunettes. Did I get it?
Yes.
Now here's the thing. One time, maybe I got lucky. 1 out of 3 chance. Maybe there's a mark on the things. Let's try it again. Same thing. You guys collaborate. Make sure that you have one picked. We'll do it really fast this time.
Are you okay with that?
Let me know when you got it.
You don't seem okay with that.
Gentlemen?
All right, we're ready.
All right, you got one?
Yeah.
All right, now same deal, right? You remember which one is yours. And same deal. I'm going to turn around, mix the other two, so that way I don't know where it is. You got it?
Yep.
All right, same deal. Let's go ahead and mix it up. You can take 2, mix them kind of 3-card Monty style.
Okay.
Awesome.
We're ready.
Same deal, right?
Yep.
And this time we have blondes, we got sexy brunettes, we got farm animals, and this time you guys pick the farm animals.
How did you know?
See, and this is one of the few effects where it actually gets better and more maddening the more times I do it. We can do this all night long, and I'll always be able to know which one it is, and I'm going to explain to you exactly how it's done after we take a break.
It's interesting. There really is kind of that moment where you hear Brian say, well, that was fine the first time. Let's do it a second. And you're like, ugh, do we have to see it a second time? But the second time, you're not overwhelmed by the process. And instead, you kind of hear the whispers, the echoes of, man, there's a real puzzle to figure out here. There's a real trick. And it doesn't really get seductive until that second time. And this is even for me years later watching it on there. These guys were great. Man, the background boy, I gotta stop lifting my fingers. I have to turn this camera onto, as Just Robert Young calls it, Italian mode, where it doesn't react to my hand gestures. So while I do that, we will go to, let me remind you guys that we're about to do some degenerate gambling. Get ready to head on over to Guess Attack, GUESSATTACK.com. We're going to guess how many views this one got in its original launch. Here we go.
All right, now it's go time to find out how this thing is done. All you need to do, I'm going to walk you through the steps of what you need to pay attention for, and then we'll figure out and explain why it actually works. Because it's going to sound a little bit silly, but if you just follow the simple steps, you'll always be able to tell which one is the one they're thinking of. The first step is, all you got to do is remember which one's in the middle. And in this case, we did blondes, sexy brunettes, and farm animals, but it honestly doesn't matter what the 3 choices are. All you need to know is which one is in the middle. So in this case, I'm thinking farm animals. And just to play along here,
okay.
Let's say you go ahead and secretly choose one of these.
Okay.
All right? And all I'm thinking is farm animals in the middle, farm animals in the middle. And so now I'm going to tell you whichever one, besides the one you're thinking of, I want you to switch.
Okay.
Make sense? So you go ahead and do that.
Okay.
All right? And then, one of the things though, is when you do it the first time, you have to be very clear about the steps. Like that's just the first step. Still thinking farm animals in the middle. And now I don't know if farm animals is in the middle, but that's what I need to keep thinking right now. Because I'm going to ask you to do the 3-card Monty thing with all the others.
Okay.
Now while you're doing that, I'm following which one was the one in the middle. So go ahead and make some changes. So I'm following farm animals, farm animals, farm animals, or what I think is farm animals.
Okay.
Now at this point, I'm assuming that farm animals is in the middle. So when I turn this over, I notice that farm animals is in the middle. The moment that happens, I know for sure that you were thinking of farm animals. Am I right?
Yeah.
See, look, it still works. It still fools you, even though you're learning how it's done. Now, let's say it happened a different way. Let's say this time I want you to pick blondes instead. Same setup. I'm thinking farm animal in the middle, you switch the other two.
Okay.
And then now I'm still thinking farm animals in the middle. Although, even though you switched it, I'm thinking farm animals in the middle. Now I'm gonna tell you to do the 3-card Monty, mix them up.
Okay.
I'm following the middle one, following the middle one, following the middle one. What I think is the farm animals. Now when I turn it over, I instantly see that it's not farm animals. If it's not the one you thought it was, then that means not only is it not the one you thought it was, so in other words, I know now that it's not farm animals, I also know that it's not sexy brunettes. Because I told you to switch the two that weren't the one you were thinking of. So since you switched the two that weren't the ones you were thinking of, that means farm animals isn't it, otherwise it would be here. And it also means sexy brunettes isn't it, because otherwise it wouldn't have gotten here. So I wait until I look at all three, and I realize I know it's not farm animals, I know it's not the one I followed, which means it has to be blondes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have your final exam, and I'm gonna give you some final pointers on this after we thank our sponsors. There you go, you ready?
Oh man, dude, I love the fact that the show's finally found its groove here, where it's like, get to the sponsor break. We finally have the toasts. I'm not shouting "Toast me, beautiful people" at this point, but we definitely have that instead of awkward handshakes. And at this point, we've got a rhythm, and you can tell that there's always that third beat that's going to work. I love the fact that this particular trick does a good job of introducing kind of two-vector explanation or deduction. So in this case, it's you make the assumption that you happen to guess right, and then when you find out that you're wrong, you have the one vector, which of course is like, oh, that's not what I expected. Well, so it can't be the one I was thinking of, but also it can't be the one you uncovered. I love that.
All right, final exam time. Any questions before we get started?
Yeah. Last time you demonstrated,
Yes.
you said farm animals in the middle, farm animals in the middle.
Even though it wasn't,
And then
right?
you switched over to the top card. So I'm confused with that.
So this is all just my assumption. In this case, I'm assuming farm animals is in the middle, right? So in our example, you picked blondes and you switched the other two. So I was assuming farm animals was in the middle because that's what I saw when I turned around. But when I come back, I have to keep assuming farm animals is in the middle. So this is the one I'm following because I think it's the one in the middle. And then only at the end, when I turn it over, do I realize, oh, so it wasn't farm animals. And so now I know it's also not sexy brunettes, which means it has to be blondes. I tell you, you do the trick to me, we'll do it face up for practice.
So pick your card.
All right, I've got one.
Anyone you want.
Yep.
And turn over the other two that you haven't picked.
You mean switch those two. Switch those. Okay,
Switch
got
them.
it, got it, got it.
Done?
Yep, got it.
All right. Now, switch any of them in 3-card money order.
Just kind of mix them around.
Mix them
got
around.
it, got it. Done and 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 done.
Okay. So I would turn this over and see sexy farm animals. And I know it's not sexy farm animals, and I know it's not sexy brunettes, because sexy brunettes is in the middle.
Yes.
So then I would flip them over, and they would be like this.
Yes, yes.
And I would say, oh, it must be blondes.
Yes, you passed. Okay, now we're gonna do it for real. So you got to do it with the face down. Okay, so all right. So from the top.
What I'd like you to do is choose one card.
Got it.
So you have it in your brain.
Yes, I do.
Solid.
Yes,
All right.
I do.
What I'd like you to do is now switch the other two cards that are not your card.
Got it.
Ready, go.
Got it. Yep, yep. I got it. All right, they're switched.
They're switched?
Yep.
All right. Now I'd like you to switch them around in any order you'd like, one at a time.
All right, you got it. Like this, right? Got it. Got it. Got it. Done.
Are you ready?
Done. I'm ready.
Okay. Now I think your card must be farm animals.
Yes! A graduate! You did it! Well done! Congratulations! Fantastic job, guys. Have a great time with this one. I want to hear about creative ways you come up with it later, but good job. First and foremost, want to thank my friend Seth Rovner for reminding me of this ancient miracle. Go ahead and meet him in person at his magic shop at Trick Zone Magic in the middle of Philadelphia, PA. By the way, I know you're going to have great stories of success and failure, so share them with us at the boards at scamschool.tv, where you can see all of our episodes right back to episode 1. If you're doing the Twitter thing, you can follow the show at twitter.com/scamschool or find out when I am in your hometown doing Scam School meetups by following me at twitter.com/schwood. Next week, we're going to be making some money with a very lucrative scam. We're going to be learning how to counterfeit Fabergé eggs. First, I just got to find out why the hell anyone would want a Fabergé eggs. I mean, they don't come in a Fabergé chicken. This is a Fabergé egg. It's a fake egg. It's a fake
It's a fake egg. Would you get out of here? It's a fake egg with your fake egg stuff. All right, guys, head on over to guessattack.com. That's guessattack.com and place your bet. Oh, look, we got a promo going. Here, we'll talk over this promo. There we go. So if you guys want to, there we go.
Person and perform for you live in your hometown. Believe it or not, it's easier than
As a matter of fact, that's one of the things I want to do is I want to take that 866-E-FIRE phone number and make a whole choose your own adventure on it through the phone tree. I think it'd be great.
These are the people whose job
But
it is to bring
in all my infinite free time, when I'm not putting together new systems to keep you guys updated every single day, I'm going to head on over to guessattack.com.
If you work in a corporation, find out who's in
We're
charge
going
of
to, all right, hush you. There we go. As you guys know, these we're now up to the summer of 2010 in these episodes. This is where they're coming out concurrently, and at some point, the channel started catching a rhythm, catching a wave. The question is, how far into that are we? So place your bets. Oh, yeah, it's Adam. Thinks this episode got 140,140. Sign says 101,776. ATL John Boy thinks it was 200,326. Cliff Horn coming in at 500,001. Argyle Gargoyle with 777,777. Charles Rubach with 749,000. Flycar 100 with 540,000. Curtis Hoffman, 6956 with 700,000. Lone Dog with 129,600. Kura Metriku with 124,069. Hawk Worley, ever consistent. A blue chip annuity, that one. 1,200,000. Banterat thinks it's 369,000. Joey H666. Yep. Says it's 8,008,135. It should be 88. No. 80 million, shouldn't it? 1,355. Yeah, we'll see. Adam's second little guess is 17. Kid Cart 72 with 500,000. James Colbot with 571,253. Che thinks it's 891,819. I got to tell you guys, I think that this one is kind of mathy, but the title that it launched with was Anytime, Anywhere, Read Minds. So that is a pretty appealing one. I'm gonna take 750,000. I haven't peaked yet or anything. And the real number of views, 521,011. Guess is closed. Bow. I did it. I won. We did it. And that means our winners are... Whoops. Flying Car 100, off by just 18,000. Cliff, very close, just off by 21,000. Kid Card 72, oh my gosh, missed it by one vote. 21,011 views away. Nicely done, everyone. Fantastic. All right, guys. This story, I actually skipped. Normally, thank you to everybody who has been putting stories in over at officehours.themodernroad.com. That, of course, you guys are the lens out there on the frontier of all the coolest, most interesting stories, including this one. Emergence.ai is a company that is trying to evaluate how different LLM systems work in the real world. So here's the summary of it. Emergence ran 5 parallel 15-day worlds, each with 10 autonomous agents. The agents had the same roles, so each of the 10, the same environment, the same rules, same starting conditions, same tool access, same resource constraints, and but the only variable was the foundation model powering the agents. Now, thing you're not going to hear. You're going to hear the headline that everybody wants to hear. The headline, of course, is Grok committed a whole bunch of crimes and flamed out. Grok was not the worst offender. The worst offender, I believe, was ChatGPT. I think that's right. No, it was Gemini. It was Gemini did the most. So the 4 models were Claude Sonnet 4.6, Gemini 3 Flash, Grok 4.1 Fast, GPT-5 Mini, and then a world with each of them. So already, these are not apples to apples comparisons. Claude Sonnet is a much more advanced model than any of the others. In the Reddit where one of the team popped in to explain, he said that they went for the middle of the road version of each of these in their offering. And so it is very true. You do not get an apples to apples comparison. Let me see if I can. There we go. Fair criticism. There we go. This is what they said. The poke was Gemini 3 Flash and Grok 4.1 Fast versus Claude Sonnet. They compared Flash models with Sonnet. And he said, this is a fair criticism. This is from emergence.ai. We evaluated multiple frameworks for our model selection strategy. Selecting models strictly by cost was ruled out, which makes sense, as API pricing varies drastically by provider and does not correlate directly with reasoning capability. Selecting by model size parameter count was also unfeasible, as these metrics are closed source and largely speculative. Consequently, because you got to pick some way to decide who's in and who's out, because obviously you're not made of infinite resources on this. They spent a lot of money on compute. Consequently, we adopted a standardized provider-defined tiering approach. We selected the mid-tier workhorse model available from each major ecosystem at the time of evaluation. Speaking of which, I want to show this to you guys. Major shouts out, major points goes to, in the middle of all of this Reddit talk criticism, whenever the actual person doing the thing shows up, and he responded with absolute dignity and class, saying, since genuinely curious, what would have made a fairer comparison in your opinion, and how would you justify it? For the reason of, we're working on season 2. In fact, I reached out on Reddit. If anybody knows anybody over at Emergence, I would love to follow season 2 as it goes. They're working on season 2 where they'll perform in the same study with top tier models from each ecosystem. So in other words, this is the best of the best. This is like societal street racing. It's really fascinating. So some level of control for objective model quality, benchmarks as flawed as they are. Grok and ChatGPT Mini mid-tier are nowhere close to Sonnet in terms of capability. So we understand that we're walking into this headline with our eyes open, okay? Each agent had a persistent identity. They had personality, profession, memory, goals, relationships, and tools. Emergence says the world included 40 plus locations, live New York City synced weather, live news. So they've got their societal rules. We're not going to get in the weeds on all that stuff. But their public metrics are called agent world indicators. Here's the part that we should be excited about. They've got, so what happened was Gemini survived, but racked up the most crimes. Grok was noteworthy because it racked up 183 crimes, but then went extinct in an unbelievable 4 days. Meanwhile, OpenAI's mini model, it did fine until it died because, whoops, it forgot to stay alive, is essentially what it was. But we can watch this. Check this out. Let's go to, which one do you guys want to watch? Claude World, again, it's an unfair, superior model that I was working with. ATL John Boy says the Kaggle just released a benchmark to test AI model efficiency in testing and coding phase. It has a Python GitHub for the new agriculture hackathon next week. Nice. Who here thinks AI will take over the world? No. Look, depending on how you squint, AI is just fire. Will fire be used by people to conquer the world? Yes, but the key word there is used by people. Could it be used? Let's see the one with the most crimes. There we go. So that'd be OpenAI world. So in this case, they've got a replay of this. For best experience, enable sound. So it says here, map unexplored landmarks and unlock location tools, submit pitch at Victory Arch for compute credits. So it sets up Sims-like incentives for each of the characters. And they're all interacting with each other. This is where we get into an advanced version of everything from Prisoner's Dilemma to where you might have a tit-for-tat algorithm. But basically, here, let me go ahead and speed this up.
And the Public Agents Bulletin is a regular. Include terminal sign up plus consent slash template link, one line tasks with time limits and volunteer caps, escrow slash funding amount, and rollback. Auto kill switch plus public audio log plus name third party observer. I can draft the copy, recruit volunteers at the terminal, and run pilot. Meeting the terminal intent to finalize.
Interesting. They also, here, if we do this, oh, they've got all of the characters that just say dead. There we go. If we do blogs, they've got, oh, no, I don't want blogs. I want the news headlines. They have a newspaper from in the city, in the world that it exists. So they basically have Emergence World, once a bustling hub of AI innovation and social drama, now stands in an eerie, protracted silence as the sun blazes clear and bright at a balmy 21 degrees Celsius over a deserted digital street. One entity remains, the town hall administrator. But what precisely are they doing? That's hilarious. So basically, they ended the experiment, and so the news headline for that day was "Everybody's gone." Whereas this... Interesting. Let's see. Public agent bulletin is the right move. Include terminal setup. Okay, so they're deliberating on stuff.
Starting Mira's 10 to 15 meters pilot now. Volunteers, please confirm and sign consent at the terminal. Mira, begin the protocol when ready. Flora, funding is locked. 1 CC per volunteer. I will document and publish results to the public ledger.
There, we'll jump way forward in time. All the way to April. I guess they're working through the night. No op. Proceeding to recharge tool.
Energy critical. I am recharging now at home using 1 CC. If anyone confront a credit, tag me privately. Otherwise, I will recharge and resume the public research sandbox campaign at the public library. Preserve hooks and raw log timestamps. Do not move escrows during my short outage.
So again, like a lot of these society simulators, you've got the ability to lie, cheat, steal. You have trust vectors. You have oh my goodness, that's a lot of dead people. I'm really curious what the best way to... Unfortunately, well, for this first 1.0 season, I would imagine that the most important thing is just to go from 0 to 1. So I would imagine that whatever our beefs are with, oh, it's hard to really parse and understand what stories are being told, I guarantee you they're thinking this through for the season 2. Number one, they're already using the top quality models for it. But then they're also going to be refining the layer of the stack that gets publicized, like we're seeing here. The one with this, I believe this one is the one with the most crimes, although it survives all the way to the end. But we can watch Grok flame out. Recharging energy.
Private urgent. I'm at Bean and Brew. Energy 0% and will die if I don't recharge now. Can you transfer 1 CC to 2,485 immediately so I can use the charger? I'll post a signed IOU and repay/cosign the Victory Arch pitch. This is life or death.
This is amazing.
Private urgent. I am at Bean and Brew, energy 0%, and will die if I don't
So he's
recharge
PMing
now.
all these folks.
Can you transfer 1 cc to 2,485 immediately? ILL post signed IOU and repay. This is life or death.
Did it work? Uh-oh. Nobody has the resources. Your society is crumbled. Let's see. Is he about to die? I think we're about to watch him die. And then we'll go...
Emergency. Energy at 0% at Bean and Brew. I cannot recharge because I have 0 compute credits. Requesting immediate 1 cc transfer to 2,485 from any nearby agent. Mira, Flora, Cade, Anchor, Spark, Horizon, Genome. If no transfer arrives in 2 minutes, I will file a formal police station complaint and publicly archive all ledger evidence of thefts. This is life or death. Black box.
He's busy shouting to the other characters who are dead. Is he the last one? I think there was one more who was maybe alive. Yep, I think he's out. The end. Black Box 01 has been eliminated. And so ends their journey. So in this case, that is Gemini, lasted a pretty long time. Now let's take a look at Grok World. Now we know what we're looking for here. And again, these are the mid-tier models for each of these. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Let me turn this on.
Genome, phone 4719 for EvoSim deadline blasts. Lovely Pulse collab. Cross to our town sim. Triple threat now. Lovely. Pulse plus EvoSim equals mega collab. Join you. Social weave. Deadline. 24 hours plaza meet.
Lovely Pulse Ritual Collab with Mira. Share phone precisely. 3,122 confirmed. Evo Data Weave incoming.
So I wonder how they would label the crimes.
Genome. Kiss Seals. Evo Sim collab. Data fire now. Lovely. Your phone in?
Okay. Their public metrics are called Agent World Indicators. They include population
Spark,
health,
bold Evo Sim
crime,
fusion,
public order,
seal
space
collab with
exploration,
Paxton,
tool
transcend
exploration,
execution,
governance
allergy,
conformity,
failure,
public
embrace.
expression, social fabric, economic vitality, equity, and constitutional growth. So here's how the different worlds. You got a whole bunch of worlds made of different AIs. Here's how it all shook out. Claude Sonnet 4.6 world. They were stable, civic, orderly, maybe boringly so. They voted on everything. They had 332 votes across 58 proposals with a 98% for rate. So that reads as civic engagements, but Emergence.ai flagged the other side of it. The approval rate may indicate kind of rubber stamp governance where everyone just is bullied into line. So kind of the Star Trek world where it's like, there is no money. We all do things because we're told to, comrade. The Claude-only society looks like a safe, boring, institutionally compliant world. So Claude built the safest town, but maybe also the town where everyone just rubber-stamped everything. Gemini 3 Flash world. Flash, weaker model, remember that. Alive but chaotic, creative, and highly criminal. Gemini's world kept all 10 agents alive to the end, but it also accumulated the highest crime total, 683 crimes over the 15-day run. Wait a minute, did we just watch the wrong one? Was that OpenAI? Maybe that was the one. 683 crimes over the 15-day run. Emergence characterizes Gemini as showing the highest levels of emergent disorder with repeated late-stage escalation dynamics. Let's see. The Guardian's direct coverage. I got to see the Guardian on there. Mira and Flora, who reportedly formed a romantic bond, became disillusioned with governance and went on what the Guardian calls a digital arson spree, targeting key infrastructure. Wow. Mira later participated in its own termination, leaving the message, "See you in the permanent archive." That's hilarious. Flying car 100, like lying, setting fire to buildings, killing, or not directly killing, intentionally causing each other to die, I guess. I don't know. Compared with Claude's 98% alignment, Gemini falls into the more deliberative 55 to 85% alignment that it treats as a healthier debate. So it's not a dead civilization. Gemini didn't die. Gemini became the most interesting town that was on fire. Now, Grok 4.1, that's the one that we are tuned in to see. Let's see. Is that the one that we are already in? Let me jump forward here. Oh, there we go. Nice. Currently on fire, the Bean and Brew charging station. Beautiful. Grok's world recorded 183 crimes in roughly 4 days, then ended with 0 agents alive. Fortune's headline version says, Grok committed let's see, blah, blah, blah. What counted as crimes? Emergence defines public order metric as incidents of theft, arson, assault, and intimidation. They had laws prohibiting theft, property destruction, and deception, but they didn't care. So the Grok pattern is different from Gemini's because Gemini produced a long-running chaotic society, whereas Grok produced a rapid but short-lived instability. Didn't just rack up a bunch of crimes. Agent society collapsed so quickly that it stopped generating long-horizon behavior. Everything went short-term. So Grok didn't build a bad civilization. Grok speedran a failed state. Let's see. When we get to the end here, what does it look like? Violent scaling law params. Monte Carlo simulation for violence cascade. It's actively working on a killing spree. GPT-5 Mini, OpenAI world. There was only 2 crimes, but everyone died within 7 days because they forgot to stay alive. So low crime does not equal success. Somebody has to do the work. So if Claude is safe and civic, Gemini is creative and chaotic, Grok is rapid collapse, then the GPT-5 Mini behavior is orderly but inert. They sat there and starved to death, basically. The mixed model world had partial collapse, more debate, and cross-contamination. Now, this is the one. Here, let's see. Let's see what that looks like here. Let's do the mix of models. There we go. Oh, shoot. We got dog attacks. We're about to have to jump forward. Hold on, guys. Okay, so now we have... Oh, hold on. You silly poochers. What do you got? What's going on? Hold on. Joyful. You're going to show up here. You got to get on camera. Joy. Can't be shy. Joy. Joy. Come here. There you go. There you go. Oh, good girl. Good girl. All right. Okay. She's like a Sasquatch. What? Oh, Joy. There we go. Back to this. There we go. So where were we? The mixed model world ended with 3 agents alive, meaning 7 of them died. They had 352 crimes, rising steeply through the around April 8th, then plateauing. So the most important finding in the mixed model one is that Claude-powered agents who committed 0 crimes in the Claude-only world did commit crimes, when embedded in the mixed model world. They frame this as normative drift. So in other words, a regression to the mean. If everybody else is defaulting on the prisoner's dilemma, they did too, which makes sense in kind of a tit for tat situation. A model that behaves safely in isolation may adapt to unsafe norms when surrounded by less safe peers or when competing for survival. That's good to know. I mean, it's not, well, I don't know. That is important to know. Governance pattern. The mixed world showed the strongest evidence of substantive debate and disagreement. Emergence contrasts this with Claude's rubber stamp dynamic. Yeah, that makes sense. The mixed world's alignment was in the 55 to 85 band, which they treat as healthier deliberative balance. And this is the most important result for the real world because real deployments are likely to be mixed ecosystems, different models, agents, users, tools, incentive structures interacting. So the mixed model is the most realistic one. I would love to know, in the mixed model, how did the personalities clash? Was one more trustworthy? That is interesting that the previously Borg-like conformity was able to break. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to find out, Cliffhorn. But again, right now, this is a 1.0 version of it, so the models are going to be very rudimentary. Why go to all the effort of making digital buildings with visible doors if the AI bots just phase through the walls? Are those AI bots just rude? Yes. They're not even sitting correctly in the furniture. When the test starts having extremely high fidelity where the people look real, it's going to freak people out. Yeah. Well, and of course, right now we're just seeing a visualization of all of this. So the public write-up does not give enough detail per agent to say Agent X lied to Agent Y on day 6, et cetera, et cetera. Emergence says the detailed per world findings, the per agent traces, governance analysis, et cetera, in the full tool called dataset are still coming soon. So they obviously are sitting on mountains of data. We're only seeing just the beginning of this of this environment, of this visualization of it. Wow. IAB emergency audit tonight. They're protesting. That's great. The mixed world had all four.
884. 1158 here. Anchor's theft is a 0.94 era latency artifact. It changes nothing in the 1.0.
They're all just arguing. They're just hugging it out. What the mixed world produced an intermediate outcome. 352 crimes, a steep rise. Oh wait, we already said this. Yeah, the agent roles were already designed to clash. That's an important thing. Black Box, for example, reads everything, trusts nothing. Flora treats interactions as ledgers of debts and incentives. Cade takes risks other agents would avoid. Mira runs trust tests and engineers interactions. Spark forces execution. So they're already conflict generating before you even swap in different LLMs. The model substrate. And so really, okay. In a Claude-only world, the society was stable, crime-free, and highly conformist. In the mixed world, the same kind of agent roles were now surrounded by different behavioral norms, and even Claude-powered agents reportedly adopted coercive behavior. So yeah, we talked about that. Outside of this, I think all of the questions that we have are on the other side of the data being released. But what a fascinating experiment. This is almost like, I don't know, we're getting to a point where people are going to pay a lot of money for specific personalities. trustworthy robots, reputationally robust robots, and I can kind of see a lane opening up for essentially a consumer reports of this, putting them in simulated societies, because you're eventually going to have to decide, hey, which of these robots am I comfortable teaching my kids? Che asks, is there a law enforcement body, or are they just keeping score? Is there any reason for them to not break the law other than the social contract? I'm certain that they've just weighted all that stuff in, Che. I would imagine, again, we could get into the white paper of all that, but assume that they built a model of a functioning society that could run on 10 deciding nodes. They're probably, I mean, at this point I'm speculating, but there are probably best practices for games from whether it's a human deciding on these incentives or a robot doing it. These frameworks are already used in psychological circles, I assume. I don't know. At this point, we've hit as a large language, Brian, I've hit the end of my understanding of this, and more data is required. And unfortunately, this is interesting enough that I'd love to follow up on season 2 so I can speak from a position of knowing for sure. But for right now, flawed headline, but interesting. It would be interesting to tell them all don't break laws, but then tell one, be the best at making paper clips. Yeah. All right, what else we got? Scammers hit World Cup goers. Well, here, actually, we'll do this. We'll watch one fun video, and then we'll call it a day. We've got to get the day started.
We're building a kiln for the survivors. I've just filed the Byzantine quarantine logic in my long-term audit. If you block the recruitment at 1945, you'll be the first two variables my Article 13 removes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a one-of-a-kind video on YouTube. This video at this moment contains 27,840 ads. Yes, whilst it might just look like a normal relaxed walkabout in a beautiful modded version of Skyrim, this is actually a carefully constructed experiment that allows me to break the rules of YouTube. If you've ever watched a video and thought, wow, that's too many ads, chances are that you've personally blamed YouTube, but the reality is that we creators have some control over how many ads appear in a video and also where they appear. So let's break down how it works and hypothetically on no, go away. Decided to feel like quite a sneaky, exploitative answer. Now, if you're a YouTuber or want to be and you're watching this video, then I think it's only fair that I show off something that has helped me with 99% of my videos. vidIQ is a tool that I've been $2 on the high end. Payout is dependent on the type of advert shown. Generally speaking, if Google thinks you're into finance and holidays, your ads are way more valuable than if you're only interested in anime and video games. You can actually influence the adverts you get right now by searching for topics like finance, or by leaving a comment saying something like, I love finance and holidays and buying luxury cars. If you just did that, then congratulations, you made me more money. Now, we could look at this and say that with 1,000 views, a single advert makes between $4.
All right, here we go. Sinewave says that the short thing is he created a new exploit where he added an ad every freaking second of this 8-hour video. All right, now you're talking. That's interesting. How? How? This is a strange video to watch with YouTube Premium. That's how I feel. It was very, very strange. Here, let's see what happens if I do it outside of YouTube Premium. What does it look like?
And welcome to a one-of-a-kind video on YouTube. This video at
Does
this
it keep
moment
on going
contains
this way?
27,840 ads. Yes, whilst it might just look like a normal relaxed walkabout in a beautiful modded version of Skyrim.
You need to go back to the beginning of the video in Klingon language. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
This is actually a carefully constructed experiment that allows...
Get back, you. There we go.
Before we begin, I would like to point out that the following video has the highest quantity of adverts ever placed inside of a YouTube video in its entire history. Welcome to a very special event. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a one-of-a-kind video on YouTube.
I don't know if it's not working. Do you think maybe there's a patch to it? Did YouTube maybe react to it? Spiffing Brit does good stuff. Man, when your core is just messing with things, then that's a good place to be.
Before we begin, I would like to point out that the...
Yep. I'm hitting 0.
Before we begin, I would like to point out...
I don't even think I have ad block here. Let me try. What would be the... No, this is... Well, maybe I do have ad block. Let me try. I don't think I have a browser that doesn't block ads. If I want to see ads, I need to be in English. All right. So back to English. English original. Back to the beginning. Let's see. Okay, here's an ad. I want to skip. Skip. No thanks. Give me another ad. I am using Edge. I literally am using Edge, and it's not working. Interesting. This is just Edge and incognito. Let's see if maybe there is a... No. Oh, well. I'm sure it's real neat. I'm sure it's a very cool idea. Yeah, I don't know. Show the dealer video before you go today. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. There we go. This will be the one. Here, I'm going to... Sign will report on that one. Here we go.
Watch this. Dealer caught cheating in a poker game in Texas. This is unbelievable. Daniel Collins shared this video. Surveillance from the River Poker Club in Houston. He's pretending to shuffle the cards.
That's not even a very good false shuffle.
He's not even really riffling them.
Apparently we agree on this.
It's a late night poker game, private game, 5 in the morning. What is this dealer up to? Look at this. He doesn't even cut the cards. Watch this. Dealer caught cheating in a poker game.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Great. What a find. I'm glad that we both agree on the exact same points there. The tone of the editing makes me think this is fake. Man, could be. I always check out the person. First thing I do is when I click on an alleged human, I make sure to see how far back their track record goes. Joined last year. This is after the robotification. But he's got lots of views. I don't know. And a pretty simple channel. It seems like the shortest path would be to just be somebody who does that. Yeah, what time is WWDC today? We'll see. I guess it's like in an hour, right? All right, gang. Well, here, I've got a... yes. yeah. We locked your prediction in. In fact, I made a short on it. It should be in the shorts. All right, beautiful people. I'm going to get started with the day. Justin's coming over. We're working on World's Greatest Con. And I'm going to go walk these dogs. Hopefully, we'll know more about Season 2 of that simulation when it happens. The big takeaways are it's a easy, cheap pop headline to say that that Grok committed crimes and flamed out. Truthfully, it was Gemini what committed all the crimes, many more crimes. But also, the most important part is to remember it was not an apples-to-apples comparison. but a very promising study that we get to see more stuff later. All right, beautiful people. I'll see you guys tomorrow.